Occupational therapy in refugee camp for children. Have you ever heard of refugee camp? Who is refugee? Who is refugee? Refugees are individuals who have been forced to flee their country because of persecution, war, or violence. Why they become refugee? Why they become refugee? They escape from their country because they have to save their life from danger.
Statistic of refugees. 11 out of 25 million are children refugees, almost 70% decrease compared to 2016. Into 2017, the proportion arriving unaccompanied and separated children has increased by 31%. Average 86% of UASC were arriving in Italy and Spain.
What is refugee camp? It is a camp that contains displaced people. Rohingya children escaping from violence in Myanmar since August 25, 2017. The top asylum countries for refugees are also typically developing economies from the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia. Jordan housed the most refugees in 2014 with 2.8 million of the country.
The different construct of the Mental Disorder Association of Attribution with their asylum application and fears of stigma or deportation are likely happen in refugee children. Refugee children are divided into two groups who are accompanied children and unaccompanied children. The profession that suitable in cope this issue is OT, which is a profession that deals with health and rehabilitation.
OT roles in refugee camp. OT roles provide general support to enhance refugees' meaningful occupation and functional activity. OT in refugee camp is important to ensure the community is in the good state of life. OT empowers the children to recognize their own potential through meaningful occupation and to work towards occupational justice. OT aims to enable the development of strong internal resources that will contribute to healthy development and the prevention of psychological consequences of trauma. OT helps to strengthen children's spirit and avoid them from experiencing the worst part of post-trauma. For example, OT consults children towards self-love and enlightens their self-worth to open their eyes about why they need to survive in this world. Besides, occupational therapists could nurture the children about what they could do in future and appreciate others while they are still with us despite the absence of some aspect in their life. OT also explains and keep reminding the importance of education towards them to ensure that they would not give up from studying. In addition, by identifying their strengths and weaknesses, it may determine their meaningful occupation. An OT is also responsible to promote self-love by improving self-esteem in order to function in daily life activity. For instance, Nada Kiblawi was born in a Palestinian refugee camp, had succeeded in life, thus become a successful entrepreneur in United States. It shows that anybody can be successful with determination and perseverance.
Prevent further trauma development. OT roles in a refugee camp is to preventing further development of trauma to chronic or serious problem in children. Unexpressed trauma experienced during war may develop long-term psychological consequences such as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, depression, and personality disorder. It also may lead to loneliness or self-harm in the community, especially children. One of the interventions OT may use is by using circus skills to address occupational deprivation in refugee camps such as juggling and hula hoops. Children might show immediate interest in the participation and a new vibes of joy and hopes. It is to build resilience and social connection, especially among children, to improve the quality of life for those who engage.
Maintaining mental and physical health. Maintaining both mental and physical health is significant for an OT in a refugee camp, especially those children who are impacted from war. Having a good mental health is essential in order to function in daily life activity as it influences our productivity and social interaction in everyday life. Physical health plays an important role in achieving functional activity in everyday life activities such as play, leisure, and activity of daily living (ADL). For instance, if a child faces one of these problems, it will bring difficulty to his life compared to normal and healthy children, such as isolation that would lead him to depression and change personality.
Conclusion. In conclusion, mentioned OT roles in refugee camp are relevant according to occupational therapy performance framework. This is because it covers the aspect of the domain in occupational therapy such as occupation, client factors, performance skills, performance patterns, and content and environment. As the result, the domains interrelate and it will affect clients' occupational identity, health, well-being, and participation in life. The provided interventions are meaningful and goal-directed to the client in order to prepare them to fully engage in occupation, such as activity of daily living, instrumental activity of daily living, rest and sleep, education, play, and social participation. Thus, values, belief, and spirituality plays important role to motivate children to find their life meaning due to post-war.